Lyle's Collision Service. When it comes to getting your vehicle back to 100%, you can count on Lyle's Collision Service. They're not some fly-by-night chain company. They're a family-owned and run collision center with over 33 years of experience. Working with collision repairs and vehicle restoration, Lyle's Collision only uses quality parts and doesn't take shortcuts like some other companies. They take pride in getting the job done right and in a timely manner. They specialize in insurance claims, and they strive to get your vehicle back to you as soon as possible. So the next time you hear this, remember, it's your choice. And the choice is clear. Lyle's Collision Service.
All right. 23 minutes before 11 o'clock. It's overcast, rainy out there, and everything. Joe and Robin are in the background there.
We're in the background.
Hey, there's a stormwater calendar photo contest you might want to participate in. The deadline for entries is May 25th.
What is it?
A stormwater calendar photo contest.
Pictures of water in a storm drain?
The Office of the County Engineer's Stormwater Management Section would like to remind residents of the 15th annual Stormwater Calendar Photo Contest. The calendar's theme this year is the color of water.
Oh, good grief.
And will showcase Marion County's beautiful water resources using photos with water as a dominant feature.
Where my mind just went. God.
All photos must have been taken in Marion County and must depict images associated with this year's theme.
Sewage.
So you need to include the photographer's name, contact information, etc., etc. A maximum of 2 entries per person.
That I was hoping.
The photo quality and resolution must be, you must meet the minimum of 300 dots per square inch, or
That's good.
DPI.
Yeah.
I mean, dots per inch, whatever it is.
You were right. Yeah.
By submitting a photograph, photographers give Marion County the right to use that photo in the calendar or in any advertisement of the calendar, and you need to get it to them by May 25th at 5 p.m.
Is there a prize?
Yeah, you get your photo in the calendar.
But is there a prize?
Yes, you get your photo in the calendar.
That's the
All
prize.
that work, and you put a photo in the calendar, and they're selling the calendars?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's wrong with this picture?
Oh, yeah, helping raise money for a good cause.
What's the cause?
The cause is healthy water.
What?
All right. This is like teaching somebody how to drive.
What?
All right.
Something's wrong with this picture.
Driver's ed classes have started
Good.
for the spring. Those kids who are now eligible to drive are out
Get
there.
out of the way! Okay.
I see them out in the parking lot here at the mall sometimes.
Yeah,
I saw them on Saturday.
No, they have to learn sometime.
In some place, yeah. So they come here before the place opens up, and they drive in the parking lot. And mine.
Thank you before it opens. Yes.
My car is the only car out there, so I always.
Aim for it! No.
So I have some funny driving instruction stories I wanted to share with you, and maybe you have some of your own. Thought it would be fun.
Okay.
Did you ever teach anybody how to drive, Joe?
Yes.
Who'd you teach?
My son. My second youngest.
And
Or was it Danny? I forget who it was.
How did it go?
Well, it went well.
I wonder what they would say.
Oh, I used to have a lot of hair.
Who did you learn from?
My dad.
How did that go?
Excellent. I don't know if I told this story on the air or not.
I don't think so.
We were on a 4-lane highway, 2 up and 2 down, largely, south, north and south.
Uh-huh.
And we were on this hill, not an incline. This was a hill. Florida doesn't have hills here. There's a couple of places in Claremont that has a hill, an actual hill that goes up high. Florida's fairly flat, let's face it. But in Connecticut, anywhere there's a hill way up, going up. And I'm in the left side of the 2 lanes going up, basically bumper to bumper, cars on both sides, cars coming in a different direction. Very, very busy. Windows are open because my dad didn't have air conditioning in the car back then. And I'm driving nice. And he said, okay, up the hill. Now remember, you have to keep your foot on the gas to keep the speed that you set going up the hill. Accelerate and stay with the speed, constant. As we go up the hill, here comes a bee right in front of my face.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
And I'm going, Dad, there's a bee in front of my face. He said, that's all right, don't move. And I didn't react. I just almost froze, but I kept the speed going, and that bee going right back out the window. Got parked, cleaned my pants out, and I was all right.
Cleaned your pants out.
Oh, that was, right in front of your face. A nice big bumblebee. I mean, it was, Yeah, unnerving, and I don't know when it was, or anything like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
That
you-
is unnerving.
Who taught you how to drive, Robin?
Oh, my dad.
And how'd that go?
It was okay.
Can they
taught
do
me.
that nowadays?
I had my dad had a Volkswagen. It was a 4-speed, so that's what I
Cool.
learned
A
on.
Bug?
You mean the Bug? Yeah, exactly. The Bug.
No, it was a fastback. It wasn't the Bug.
Don't
Okay.
ask me what a fastback is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's more slanted, and the Bug
it's still
is
a Bug.
curvy. Yeah, it's a Volkswagen.
Oh, different style Bug. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was
Well,
it
there was
good.
a rabbit too.
It was good.
And there was the Thing also.
It's not the rabbit. It was a fastback.
Remember the Thing?
Yeah, 1968.
I don't remember the thing.
The Thing, the Volkswagen Thing.
No.
A square looks like a square box put together. I mean,
So,
Oh, yeah, it
so
was a
the
Convertible.
lesson went one time, or
Oh no! It
One
was
time.
it was until I qualified at the age of 15 to get my
okay.
learner's permit, and then
then-
throughout that whole year, you had to have the adult driver in the car with you. And then at 16, I could get my regular operator's license,
Yeah.
and it was winter, and it was snowing, and my dad took me down to the DMV in
Whoa, what
Milwaukee.
a,
Took my test on the 4-speed in the snow and passed first time. So
nice.
he did a good job.
Did you either of you have a written test also?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Did,
yeah,
I had a
yeah,
written
yeah.
test.
Oh, written test. But do they still allow parents to teach their kids to drive nowadays, or do you have to go to a class?
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to go to a class. I had to go to a driver's ed class, but I couldn't drive. Yeah, it was at high school. Our high school gave a driver's ed class
Plus,
for the summer.
plus your dad teaching you.
Right, exactly, because you
They'd have to
had
do
to
that.
have that certificate before you could go at 16 to get your
Really?
permanent driver's
I
license.
didn't have that.
yeah.
I just got taught by my dad.
Oh.
And he turned it in, and the guy looked at me. He said, "Let's go for the ride. Come back. Do all the questions. Here's the stamp." I was more worried about the questions than the driving. To tell you the truth, I was comfortable behind the wheel. After that B incident,
And how was yours, Larry? Did you get? How old were you when you got your?
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
taught you how to drive?
in New York. It was much later than what you said. How old were you, Joe, in Connecticut? You drove.
What do you, when I drove, how old was I in Connecticut? I was born there. Let's see. I got my license when I was 17.
17. That's about when I was here in Florida, because I was here in Florida.
And who
so-
taught you?
My dad. Well, I took lessons over at Forest High School also. Yeah. So
No, I was driver.
so I have some drivers teachers stories. Ready?
Driver teacher story.
There was an instructor who, if a student was tardy for his class,
Yeah.
would obligate the student to buy him a McDouble meal at McDonald's.
Nice.
So if you showed up for your lesson late, you had to go through McDonald's.
Cool.
And it was a lesson in learning how to drive through the drive-through.
I don't think so.
Yes, it was. All
Yeah.
right, here's another one.
He wouldn't get away with that today, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This driver says it was her first time driving. A young girl got into the driver's seat, and she flipped the car on its back during the road practice.
No.
Holy, how fast was she going?
The car was on a low-rise bridge, and she hit the guardrail, and the car came crashing down, landed on its back. It did a somersault.
But
She didn't pass that day, did she?
Oh.
Here's another one. I was in the back of a student driver car, and the instructor asked for him to merge into the other lane. He started doing it, but forgot the blinker. The instructor
Okay.
reminded him.
What?
The kid panics. He starts swerving. He turns on the wipers instead.
Oh,
He activates the washer fluid, has the blinker on the
well.
wrong way. Almost crashes into another car before the instructor slams on the passenger brake, saving everybody's lives.
Wow.
yeah, that's what I like. The cars with the instructor has a steering wheel and brakes, just in case they can take over, you know?
Do you know, I was in the left-hand lane of I-4 on Saturday.
You did not.
And I had to go into the right lane to exit. And do you know I had 3 women telling me I had to get over? And I kept saying, I know, but you know there's a truck there.
Now, let me ask you, where were the 3 women sitting? In the back seat?
One was to the right of me.
And the other 2 in the back?
Her name is Robin.
Yeah.
Whoa, no slack today.
And my mom.
The other
and-
2 were in the back seat.
So that's backseat drivers.
Yes.
And the one to the right of you, what would you
And there
call?
was another young lady back there, but she had her headset on, was listening to stuff. She's only 11. So
Yeah,
she's,
so
Oh,
she
okay, that's
didn't
all right.
count.
she didn't say anything.
But Shannon made a good GPS.
So that was like, you got to get off this exit. Don't forget, you got to get off this exit. You got to get to the right. You got to get off this exit kind of thing.
If you're going to get this exit, you got to get into the right lane. Well, it's about as far as from here to that door over there.
Yeah, there's
gonna happen.
6 lanes of traffic on I-4.
Didn't
one
happen, did it,
direction.
Larry? You went by it, turned around, came back?
No, Shannon knew a different way, but
Well, there you go.
I still went by it.
Yeah, well,
the
that's the
point-
whole thing. It's not worth it. It's not worth an accident. Find it. You know how many times I've done that? I missed it. I missed the exit. Okay, it take me 10 minutes more to get back to where I started from. So what?
Well, did you have women in the car with you? Were they telling you that
I'm
you
not
missed
even
it?
going there. I'm not even going there. I am not even going there. I want to breathe.
Yeah.
So did you ever teach somebody how to drive a standard?
No.
No. Robin, you
Oh, yeah, I
obviously
did.
learned
TJ
how.
and Shannon,
Oh,
yeah.
So how
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah, it was okay. They conked out a few times. The hill was kind of tough.
Tough with standard, yeah.
I also taught my brother how to drive a standard. And that hill downtown Ocala going east on Silver Springs Boulevard, as soon as you turn off of 441, the big hill
Right.
there. Yeah, that was the hill that I taught my brother on.
There's a
and he
big hill.
conked out a couple times, but he managed.
There's a
so.
big hill on 441.
Yeah, so I taught 3 people:
On
my son,
440.
my daughter, and my brother.
South?
how to
I
drive
think you mean
the
on the
stick.
boulevard, right?
On the boulevard,
Oh,
Highway
East Silver
40.
Springs Boulevard.
40.
Yeah, going east.
Again, where's there a big hill
West.
on 40?
Well, just
No, you
just
go east.
I know what you mean. East of Pine. I know what you mean.
There's a
One
big
block
hill
east of
somewhere?
Pine.
Right there, right by the downtown area.
Oh, you mean
Right
by,
before the
just before you get to the
gazebo.
gazebo.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
before that.
Square. Okay,
going
that,
east,
that is
yeah.
a hill. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so
That
that
is a
was
hill.
the hill.
I learned how to drive standard in the Navy when I was on shore leave.
Oh my!
And we were coming back from Fallon, Nevada. And this guy was driving, and he got too tired to drive anymore. And he says, Joe, you drive. I said, but I've never driven a stick. Don't worry about it. This is how you do it. And that's how I learned.
Wow.
Well,
We drove all the way back.
I learned standard also down here, and similar to what Robin's story was that same hill that you're talking about.
This hill. yeah.
So when I went to Quebec with Alex, and in Quebec we found ourselves at a stoplight with a real hill, and
Oh.
and I was like, oh my God, there's a car,
You feel that car go back 3 inches. You go, ah!
there's a
Yeah,
car
yeah, yeah.
right behind me,
Oh, yeah.
and I gotta go forward when this light turns green.
Try that on a motorcycle, Larry. When both feet are on the ground.
I bet that's fun.
Oh, yeah. We get, again, anything you get used to it. Once you got used to it. Now I have my trike. I don't worry about that.
How's it doing, by the way? Is it running yet?
No.
All right,
I've been
so
working on
here's
it.
another driver ed class. This is a student. He says, my mother was too scared to teach me to drive, so my first time behind the wheel was in driver's ed. The 3 student cars were parked side by side, and I was assigned to the one in the middle. My instructor was slower than the other 2, who promptly got their students in the vehicles and began taking off. Simultaneously, my instructor is slowly having me go through all the checks, seatbelt, mirrors, etc. As soon as I turned the key, both cars on either side of me began pulling out, giving me the sensation that we were rolling backwards.
Oh my gosh!
In that 1 to 3 second time frame, I began furiously stomping the brake and screaming, "Oh my God, I can't stop!" While the other 2 students, along with the instructor, looked at me like I was an idiot. The instructor just looked at me and said, "You know you're in park, right?"
Oh no!
Oh, that's a great
that
story.
poor thing.
But how many times have you
sympathize?
parked your car and you're pulling in, parking spot,
Right.
and as you're pulling in and you're putting a brake on, the car next to you is backing out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's,
And you
that's
get that
freaky.
sensation that, why am I still moving? My foot's on the brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yes.
That
oh,
is freaky
yes.
feeling.
Yeah, that does happen.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's another one. My driving instructor told me about a student he had who wrecked his car. They were approaching a 4-junction roundabout, one of the built-up ones with small trees and shrubs in the middle. And he told her to go straight over, meaning the second exit straight ahead. Instead, she took his words literally and ramped up the car onto the middle of the roundabout.
Oh no!
That poor thing. Oh. Well, he said go straight ahead.
So that is so.
Wow, I hate those roundabouts.
Oh, another
They're
story.
awful.
You want another?
Yeah, I got another one. Coming up to a stoplight. Coming down a small hill. There's a stoplight in front of me. And a car was pacing me side by side, going nice and easy. In front of me was the stop sign. I mean, the stoplight. To the right, there's 2 lanes going down the hill now. To the right was a car stopped at the light. This guy was pacing me. I'm coming down, so I'm going to stop. He was going to stop with me. So I stopped under the light. He wanted to proceed under the light, except there was a car in front of him. Right into the car. Right into the car. He was just looking at me, and he's going to pace me right to the stop sign and stop light, and he just, bam! And I stopped under the light, and I just looked at him. Said, what the hell?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he just rammed right into the guy's back end.
He's just checking you out. Maybe he thought you looked like somebody he knew.
A photo? He went, no, it was yeah, one of those.
Oh, you're having a road rage moment.
He was, not me. I was doing fine. I didn't hit any cars. But it was just funny and you just hear the crush. Luckily, we were only going like 10 miles an hour down the hill, but either crunch, oh, sugar.
There's another one. I was a car instructor, and we were on our first highway drive with a young girl. We were behind a semi who was going the posted 55 or 60 miles per hour. So she asked if she could pass. He said that would be fine, but he grabs her hand when she immediately reaches for the gear shift. He asked what the hell she was doing, and she said, I'm putting it in P for pass.
Holy moly! Oh, boy, that car would have made a lot of noise.
Oh, man.
P for pass.
Wow. Wow.
Let me ask you something. What do you call the little thing that has the P and the R and the N on it? What do you call that thing?
Gear shifter?
What do you call it, Robin?
The shifter.
No, you don't call it the prenindle?
I learned that from you.
Who?
The prenindle? No, nobody does it?
No, I'm not that sophisticated. I'm sorry.
Park, reverse, neutral, drive.
I grew up with the high beams was a button on the floor.
Me too.
Oh, that old too.
My high beams was on the floor.
All right, so this guy, he says on the first day, he was with his instructor, and he told him to call him by his nickname, which was Moose. So on my
Nice.
turn to drive, the instructor had me drop him off at the condominium he was staying at because he had to use the restroom. The other student and I waited my entire driving turn for Moose to come back out.
Oh, no.
Moose was in there a long time.
The entire
Hey, when you
driving.
gotta go, you gotta
Well, that's
go.
not a
I'm sorry,
driving
Mother Nature.
That's
That's,
horrible.
That's not a driving story.
Absolutely
that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
This one, the girl says when she started driving, her instructor told her to pull over and please say a prayer.
Yeah. Oh, good for her. Well, yeah. When I first started driving, my very, very first time behind the wheel was with the instructor at the high school, and I thought you just put your hand on the wheel and the car would go straight. Wrong. You got to, at least get control of it. And he said, "What are you doing?" I didn't know.
Did you ever park a car up against a curb and you couldn't turn the ignition? Turn the key?
What?
Have you ever parked your car, your tires up against the curb, and you couldn't turn the ignition?
Why couldn't you turn the ignition?
Because it was the what do you call it?
It was too tight.
The transmission.
Yeah, the transmission.
You lost
Yeah,
me on
I've
this
done
one.
that.
Yeah, so you just put it in.
I've done that.
Well, it's an old
I've never done that.
No?
Yeah.
No.
No, I've done that.
Did you ever have to jump like run with a standard and pop the clutch?
I'll pop the clutch, yes.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
done
started.
that. I've
Did
done
you?
that, yeah.
I had a
Not for me, but for someone else. I've never had the problem like that, but other people.
I had no money to get a new starter.
Oh,
And I
so it
had,
was
and I had a
parked-
standard car, and I always had to park someplace where there was a hill.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And so I went to Buffalo, New York,
Oh, nice Buffalo.
and I had to go into this office, and there was no hill anywhere. And so I parked on the street and went in, and then when I came out, I thought, well, I can do this. So I just opened the door and pushed and pushed and pushed and jumped in and popped my clutch.
Did it pop?
Yeah.
You were lucky.
Got it going.
Hey, you have to have, yeah. Well, just so much.
gosh.
Just imagine
momentum.
now. Yeah.
That won't happen.
I remember all the kids all together pushing the car. Faster, 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 faster. Oh.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
you got to remember, you get some kids that don't pay attention. All right, now when you're in there, you just put it in a gear, keep it, and just let it out quick. But you've got to have that key turned. You have to have that ignition key turned to the right.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it turned to the right, it won't make the cycle, and it'll pop all you want, and it'll never start.
You and I did that with your sister-in-law.
I remember right here in this mall.
Yeah,
I remember
she
that.
didn't have the key on, and we're pushing that
Popping
little
and
pickup
popping
truck.
and popping, and I'm
You're
saying,
wondering why.
I'm saying, I don't get it. Well, how come it's not starting? And she said, am I supposed to turn the key?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, yes.
I know.
What about the ones that you're pushing real fast, and they get scared, and then they put the brake on? And there's your face into the back of the car. Yeah. Why did you put the brake on? I was going too fast. No, you weren't. You got to pop the clutch.
So did you grow up in an area where you would drive at a very young age on an interstate?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Did you, Robin?
No, you had to be 15 to have your learner's permit, and
No,
then
no.
go
he
on
meant-
the interstate.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Wait, maybe we're.
I know.
Because Wisconsin was a farm town, so if you were 14, you could operate machinery and stuff and drive, but normal people couldn't do that if you didn't live on a farm. Am I missing the point here?
I'm not sure.
At 15, I
Normal
was
people.
driving
If you're
on-
not normal, you can do it. I don't get it.
Well, before I ever started driving, I always thought I'll be fine except for those interstate things. That's going to be hard. In New York,
Yeah,
they have the
yeah, yeah.
expressways and all that.
Oh yeah, we had that in Milwaukee too. That was scary the first time
Okay,
getting up
so
there.
that was my question to my father. My question was, is that going to be harder? And he goes, no, just faster.
Exactly. Just faster. You got to grow horns, as they say. Grow horns. Yeah, you gotta, aggressive. You have to be more aggressive on highways. You don't go up, and you don't go. It's not a stop sign. It's a merge. So you don't stop.
You know what's
And then
weird?
try to get in. Oh, I hate when somebody does that.
Oh yeah, me too.
What's weird is that you don't need a special driver's license to drive an RV, but you do need for a motorcycle.
Yes, you
Oh,
do.
motorcycle's a totally different animal. Are you kidding me?
So is an RV. Those big buses, that's got to be. There should be some kind of a test for those things.
There should be like
For
a
backing
CDL
up?
license.
For everything.
Forward.
Turning corners and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, turning
Yeah.
the corners, just like anything else. You know? Well, driving a forklift. The steering's in the back, not in the front.
I know.
So that's a different sensation.
But you're not on the highway.
Not usually, no. You're not going that fast either.
But those big RVs, you can get in one. You got a license, you can go.
Yeah, you should. I agree with you because.
But you could
people-
drive a bus, you got to have a license, right?
right?
Yeah, I
You
drove
have to
one.
have a
I
special
drove a bus 3 times before I realized I had to have a special license.
I won't, that's the one thing I wouldn't want to drive is a bus, especially in the city. Disney has openings for bus drivers right now. I think it's now or
I
whatever.
applied for that job.
And I would not want to drive a bus in Disney. I mean, some of the turns they have to make, and it's, again, once you get used to it, but they had to, okay, we're going to train you 2 a.m. in the morning when no one's around to find you. First of all, you got to find your way around,
Right.
and then you got to drive your way around not only the permanent obstacles, but these cars that say it's just a bus, we can go in front of them, we can go behind them, we can stop fast. Those bus drivers are like angels.
Yeah, I believe that. They have to be.
When I applied for the job, it was $5 an hour,
Oh, it's more than that now.
and it was at nighttime. And you wouldn't get moved to daytime unless somebody quit.
Yeah,
So basically, you're going to be there for a long time.
exactly.
Yeah.
One guy was there 20 years.
All right, Andy Steves is coming up. If you listen
Yes,
on the
he
weekend
is.
on WOCA, what's the guy? His father's name is Rick Steves, right?
Yes,
Rick
Rick
Steves.
Steves.
Talk about traveling. His son is doing the same thing, and he wrote a book about it.
Oh, cool.
Andy Steves Europe. We'll be right back with Andy Steves. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. The
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. The American Embassy in Israel has moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. President Trump on video at the dedication ceremony.
Israel is a sovereign nation with the right, like every other sovereign nation, to determine its own capital.
Palestinians, though, claim part of Jerusalem as their capital, and at least 41 have been killed by Israeli troops at a protest on the Gaza border today. The president says he wants to help a Chinese telecommunications company, ZTE, that's been sanctioned by the Commerce Department, tweeting too many jobs in China lost.
Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff disapproves, tweeting to the president, "You should care more about our national security than Chinese jobs." Intelligence agencies have warned that ZTE technology and phones pose a major cyber cybersecurity threat.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. And the Supreme Court rules the federal government cannot ban sports betting, leaving the decision up to states. Fox News. We report, you decide.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
This is Kenny Penny with Pretty Penny Properties. On behalf of myself, my wife Allison, and the Pretty Penny team, I want to thank you for supporting our business by allowing us to help you get your penny's worth from the local real estate market. With offices in